So a few months ago, I released a preview video about all the budget bait finesse tackle that had come out at this year's ICAST. And the one piece of tackle that got me the most excited was this. The Abu Garcia Veritas BFS bass rod. And let me tell you why this piece of tackle or this rod got me the most excited. First of all, the price. It's only $99, so I would consider this to be a budget BFS rod. And another thing that got me excited was that this is made for bass fishing. And we do have a lot of BFS bass fishing options here in America, but ones that come in at $100 and less are few and far between. And another thing that got me excited was the length, 7'1". So with that being said, let's go over the specs of this rod real quick. And we're just gonna go over my first impressions because this is not gonna be a review video, but a preview video. Now there are two models in the Veritas BFS lineup, and they are both 7'1". The only difference is that one is considered a medium light with a moderate fast action, and the other one is considered a medium with a fast action. And when it comes to BFS bass fishing, I prefer faster actions. So naturally I chose the fast action, but incidentally they have the same lure ratings, which is 1/8 ounce to 3/8 ounce. At least that's what it says on the rod itself. Now on Tackle Warehouse it shows something different, so I'm going to go with what Abu Garcia has printed on the rod. So that is a perfect lure rating for bait finesse bass fishing. Now is this truly a fast action? Well, let me bend this tip. Hopefully you guys can see it. I would say yeah. Now let's go over my first impressions when I pulled it out of the rod tube. And I'll be honest, when I first took it out of the rod tube, you know, you hold it, you check the lightness, check the crispiness, the balance. Honestly, I was not impressed. Now granted, this was a month ago. I've had this rod as well as another rod sitting around, and I haven't been able to get to these videos because I've been doing a lot of traveling recently. But yeah, over a month ago when I first got the rod and gave it a shake, I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed. I thought it would be much lighter, better balanced, more floaty feeling. But I just got back in town a couple of days ago. Now, when I hold the rod, it feels much better. That's kind of funny how time will distort or change your perception of things. When I first shook it, I could have swore it was more of a moderate fast action, and granted this is not going to be the ultra stiff and crispy kind of rod like, let's say, you know, my Poison Adrena or NRX or higher end BFS bass rods. But when you compare with the Shimano GLF that I previewed a couple of months ago, it is definitely at least a step stiffer. I would agree that this is a fast action. Now the question is this really going to handle lures down to 1/8 of an ounce? And I question that because of just how thick the blank is. Now when you compare it to some other budget BFS bass rods that I've reviewed in the past, like the Shimano Majestic or the Shimano Bass Rise XT, the blank on this Veritas is noticeably thicker, but you know, that doesn't mean anything. It actually feels real good, and I'm sure once I mount a reel on this rod, the balance will be much better, considering it's such a long rod. But some other things to note about the rod, it's got some nice, I guess, carbon weave trim pieces on the handle section as well as the forenut. The blank itself is black up until about, I guess, 7 inches, and then it is all white. And thankfully they didn't put a gloss coating over the blank. It's all matte satin. Now will the blank stay white or will it turn like a yellow? I guess we'll find out. But I'm really excited to try to use this rod this winter. And I guess the thing I have to decide now is what reel am I going to put on this thing. I was wanting something heavier. Of course, the natural thought is to put a Abu Garcia reel like the Xenon on this, but the Xenon is so light that I think it's still going to be tip heavy. So I'm trying to think of what heavier BFS rod I can put on this Veritas to make it have some better balance. But yeah, preview video of the Abu Garcia Veritas BFS rod. I was disappointed when I first pulled it out of the packaging over a month ago, but today, now that I hold it and give it a whip, it feels much, much better. Funny how that is. All right, guys, so if you were looking at these Veritas BFS bass rods, since they're so attractively priced at $99, here's a little preview, and I hope I covered everything to answer any of your questions. All right, guys, thanks a lot.